The knock came at precisely 3:17 a.m., sharp and insistent against the weathered wooden door of Vin Diesel's apartment. He jolted awake, his heart hammering against his ribcage as he fumbled for the lamp switch. The dim yellow light revealed his cramped studio, cluttered with engineering textbooks and half-assembled circuit boards. Another knock, more urgent this time. Vin stumbled to the door, rubbing sleep from his eyes. Through the peephole he saw a young woman with disheveled dark hair, her face pale and streaked with what looked like tears. Blood stained her jacket sleeve. "Please," her muffled voice came through the door. "Please, I need help." Against every instinct of self-preservation, Vin opened the door. The woman Lisa, she would later tell him, practically fell into his arms, trembling violently. "They're watching," she whispered, her eyes wild with terror. "They've been watching all of us." Vin helped her to his worn couch, grabbed his first aid kit, and began cleaning the wound on her arm. It was a deep gash, but not life. As he worked, Lisa's trembling began to subside, though her eyes never stopped darting toward the window. "Who's watching?" Vin asked gently, securing the bandage. Lisa reached into her jacket pocket and pulled out a small metallic device, no larger than a quarter. It pulsed with a faint blue light, unlike anything Vin had ever seen in his years of electrical engineering. "Them," she said. "The Galactic Council. I'm an anthropologist, Vin, or at least, I was. I was hired by what I thought was a government research facility, but it wasn't human governments that employed me." Vin's rational mind screamed that this woman was delusional, that he should call for medical help. But something in her eyes, a clarity beneath the fear, made him listen. Lisa explained that for decades, an alien collective known as the Galactic Council had been observing Earth, documenting human behavior to determine whether humanity deserved a place among the civilized species of the galaxy. She had been one of their human liaisons, translating observations and cultural contexts. "I stole this." Lisa held up the device. "It's a recording of their latest assessment meeting. Vin, they're going to make their final decision about Earth in 72 hours, and it's not looking good." Vin took the device, his engineer's curiosity overriding his skepticism. "What did they see that was so bad?" "Everything," Lisa said bitterly. "War, pollution, inequality, cruelty. They've documented every horrible thing we do to each other and our planet. But that's not what bothers me most." She leaned forward, her intensity cutting through the absurdity of the situation. "What bothers me is what they didn't see, what they chose not to record." Over the next hour, as dawn began to paint the sky outside Vin's window, Lisa told him about the Council's methodology. They observed humanity through surveillance systems and data collection. But their algorithms filtered information based on what they considered significant: conflicts, crimes, environmental destruction. The AI systems they used were optimized to identify threats and weaknesses. "They never saw you," Lisa said suddenly, looking at Ving with startling intensity. "Last week, I watched you spend 4 hours helping that elderly woman downstairs fix her broken heater. You bought the parts with your own money. You didn't tell anyone. The Council's systems registered it as insignificant routine maintenance." Vin felt his face flush. "How did you?" "I've been watching this building for months," Lisa admitted. "It's in a sector they designated as low priority. But I've seen more humanity here than in any of their significant observations. I've seen neighbors sharing food during hard times. I've seen teenagers helping strangers carry groceries. I've seen people cry together and laugh together and forgive each other." She stood up, pacing now, animated despite her exhaustion. "The Council is making a decision about our entire species based on incomplete data. They're judging us by our worst moments while ignoring billions of small acts of kindness that happen every single day." "So what do we do?" Vin asked, surprised to find himself believing her, or at least willing to act as if he did. Lisa smiled for the first time, a fierce expression that transformed her face. "We show them what they missed." For the next 72 hours, Vin's apartment became a mission control center. Lisa accessed the Council's observation network through the stolen device, while Vin rigged together a transmission system using parts scavenged from every electronic store within walking distance. They didn't try to show humanity's grand achievements or historical triumphs. Instead, they compiled something simpler: a day in the life of ordinary people choosing kindness, a teacher staying late to help a struggling student, a stranger paying for someone's groceries, a community coming together to rebuild after a fire, children sharing toys in a park, an addict being welcomed back by a support group after a relapse, an immigrant family being embraced by new neighbors. Moment after moment, hour after hour, they streamed the footage directly to the Council's assessment chamber, bypassing their filtration algorithms. On the third night, at exactly 3:17 a.m. 72 hours after, Lisa had knocked on his door. The device in Vin's hand began to vibrate. A holographic projection materialized above it, showing a council chamber filled with alien beings of impossible variety. The eldest among them, a being that resembled flowing water given form. They spoke in a voice that resonated directly in their minds. "Humans, Lisa and Vin Diesel," it said, "you have violated numerous protocols. You have stolen technology. You have infiltrated our private deliberations." Vin felt his stomach drop, but Lisa stood straighter, defiant. You have also, the being continued, and something like amusement colored its tone, taught this council a valuable lesson about the limitations of observation without context, about the danger of judging a species by its crises rather than its character. The being's form rippled, and somehow Ven knew it was smiling. The council has voted, humanity will be welcomed into the galactic community not despite your imperfections, but because you have shown us something we had forgotten, that the measure of a civilization lies not in its absence of darkness, but in how many of its members choose to light candles against it. As the hologram faded, Lisa collapsed onto the couch, tears streaming down her face. Ven sat beside her, both of them too overwhelmed for words. Outside, the city was waking up. Somewhere, a neighbor was helping another neighbor. Somewhere, strangers were becoming friends. And somewhere in the vastness of space, an alien council was revising centuries of protocols because two humans had dared to show them the truth. That humanity's greatest strength wasn't its absence of flaws, but its persistent, stubborn, everyday choice to be kind despite them. The knock that came at 3:17 a.m. had changed everything, but then again, perhaps that was humanity's secret all along, that everything could change in a single moment of courage, in one act of compassion, in the space between knock and answer, where we decide what kind of people we want to be.